Ladies and gentlemen, now today we've got a bit of a mixed batch because we got some really good news in regards to a buff to the monthly event quest rewards, but also if you're a bit of a blubbery endgame player, man, we've got some really bad news, or scary news should I say, in regards to the champion boss in Act 6.2, or what we're assuming is probably going to be the champion boss in Act 6.2, considering, you know, if you have a look in the game on the initial reel, like Act 6 Chapter 2 for the teaser, it's the Power Stone champion, man, and that guy looks really scary, and we're going to be chatting about some of the abilities, man, because he just looks so silly. We've got kind of got the full breakdown and all the details from MCOC mod, but he looks like he could be worse than the Collector. However, today let's start off on the positive, which is a very long overdue buff to the rewards for the monthly event quest. So this is going to be starting today with the brand new event quest Enquiries Rex, and Kabam have posted all the information on the forums about some of the updated rewards, but again they haven't done like a side-by-side comparison and broke down everything comparatively that's different. However, I've taken the courtesy to kind of go through and do that, so let's have a bit of a chat. Kind of everything has been updated again for the first four relatively substantially. There's nothing like too noteworthy in terms of the beginner and normal ones, and a lot of the noteworthy stuff really does come in at Heroic and Master there. So let's break down the increased rewards for Heroic and Master, and again all of this stuff is on top of what you already get. So these are the brand new rewards piled on top of the existing rewards. So they've added in one more premium crystal for Heroic, 450 premium hero crystal shards, also one ultimate crystal as well. So this is the one that has a guaranteed 3-star champion with a 20% chance at a 4-star as well. They've also added in 600 bonus 4-star crystal shards, 7,200 tier 4 basic fragments, another tier 1 alpha catalyst to the rewards as well. They've also added in 2 times tier 3 class catalyst crystals, which are very much needed as well. I was very happy to see these be added into Heroic. They've also added in 15 tier 4 class catalyst fragment crystals, so this is equivalent to 30% of a T4 CC, but again it's maybe a little bit less valuable because it's split across the classes and random, but it's still, you know, a very nice bonus to have in there. And then they've added in a bit of generic ISO. You've got 18 times tier 4 generic ISO and 5 times tier 5 generic ISO, and just under 30,000 gold as well. So overall, man, all of these rewards, they do add up to be quite a nice bump to Heroic. So yeah, I'm fairly pleased with the update to Heroic rewards. Again, you know, being a player of this game, you always want to see a little bit more, but I think that's you know, a nice enough bump to the rewards of Heroic. And then we have the Master ones. So Master, they have straight up added in a fully formed 4-star crystal as well. So I don't know what this is going to be associated with. I'm going to assume like 100% Master. Hopefully completion, man, would be really nice to see. There's also an additional 300 4-star shards as well. They've almost doubled the amount of 5-star shards that you can get. You get 1,500 currently, but they've added in 1,250 as well, which brings it up to a total of 2,750 there. So that's quite a nice what does it bump up for the 5-star shards. And then you've also got 8,000 additional tier 4 basic catalyst fragments and 40 additional tier 4 class catalyst fragment crystals. So this is equivalent, you know, roughly to 80% of a T4 CC, but again it's split across the classes so it's less valuable. However, that's really good, man, because that is almost, you know, that's really going to add up for a lot of people that are drilling Master and Heroic every single month to help them get T4 CC, to get those rank 5 characters or rank 3 5-star champions a little bit faster there. And there's also 12 times tier 5 generic ISO and just under 40,000 gold. So overall, man, I'm relatively pleased with like the bump up to Heroic and Master awards. I think they're both pretty nice, so I think it's a well overdue change, man, but it's finally nice to see it come around, so pretty happy with that one. Finally as well, they've added a very small amount of gold to do doing uncollected, just under 13,000 there, which is a little bit of a weird number considering it's less than Heroic and Master overall. However, Kabam Mike has said on the forums that essentially they're trying to evaluate the level of uncollected difficulty and see what they want to do with the rewards for uncollected, whether they want to keep them the same, up them a little bit, because they do kind of acknowledge that it does fluctuate quite heavily in terms of difficulty. And, you know, having done every single uncollected on multiple accounts since the release of it, I can very much vouch for that, man. You'll have one month that's really, really easy and one month that is so much harder in comparison to the previous month. And I think the general theme is that as more and more like super annoying defenders get released and make their way you know, around the event quest, and you get all these noded paths and stuff. There are a lot more annoying and problematic fights when it comes to 100% uncollected every single month, and I think there's quite a big skill gap and roster gap between somebody that's just got uncollected and somebody that has just got Cavalier as well. So there's kind of an increasingly growing gap in the end game, and I think it really does call for a new difficulty of Cavalier and to keep uncollected down to that level that it used to be at, where it's, you know, manageable with 440 champions in the hands of a skilled player. So yeah, I'd like to see them kind of, you know, bring uncollected a little bit more into check, but then also release a Cavalier difficulty as well. But essentially they do acknowledge that they are kind of discussing that internally at the moment and figuring out what they want to do. So hopefully we're going to see some interesting stuff in regards to uncollected being a little bit more straightforward every month and having that kind of big challenge when it comes to a brand new Cavalier difficulty as well. So yeah, I'm interested to, you know, see what happens there. Now it's time to have a bit of a chat about the scary news, which is this Power Stone infused version of the champion who is rumored to be the final boss of Act 6 Chapter 2. He's also literally the poster boy for Act 6 Chapter 2, so I think it's fairly, you know, safe to assume that he is going to be the final boss. However, he does look terrifying. He looks absolutely terrifying. A very fun and interactive fight on so many different levels. But let's break him down and talk about why he might be worse than the Collector, man. I think there's a very strong chance that for a lot of people, this character is going to be worse than the Collector to fight, and that's saying something, man. That's saying something. So the first thing is that every single one of your champions is going to trigger his contest's greatest fighters mechanic. So this is even further enhanced by the Power Stone version of the champion to give him persistent charges 40% faster, so he activates his Fury and Unstoppable 40% faster, which means that he's going to activate it every 7.8 seconds there, and also increases the duration and ability accuracy of all of his buffs by a flat 60%. Now, on a standard version of a champion, that one's 25% and that's 28%. So having 60% increased buff duration on a 5-second Unstoppable is going to last for 8 seconds, my dudes. It's going to last for 8 seconds. And when he's activating this every 7.8 seconds, he's just going to go back-to-back Unstoppable, right? Like, to the best of my knowledge. So this just seems, it seems crazy fun. It seems crazy fun. So you've got to bring in, by the look of it, a champion that can nullify, a champion that can stagger, Captain America Infinity War. Those seem like the only options to get a little bit of damage into this lad, but that seems so crazy. But then on top of that, man, we have multiple phases of even more fun mechanics. So he's got all of his standard base stuff there. However, you know, much like the nameless Thanos, he has 4 different phases. So 100% to 70% health, you've got the pre-show. So at the start of the fight, the champion instantly regenerates 30% of the health points his opponent is missing. So if you're not topped up, he's gonna regenerate. So that shouldn't maybe be too bad, I assume, but it's a little bit annoying and a little bit of an incentive there to Maybe top up your champions. Also, if the champion is already at 100% of his max health, he instead begins the fight with 3 of his fury buffs active. So immediately, as soon as he gets that first persistent charge, he's going to be at 4 stacks of fury. So, you know, you have a lot to contend with nullify-wise straight away when it does come to this dude. And then between 70% and 40% health, while the champion is unstoppable, and again, this is going to be 100% uptime, unless you have a way to nullify it, any contact with him is going to leave the attacker stunned for 2.5 seconds. And also, all of the champion's light attacks are unblockable, and he fights aggressive as well. So yeah, a little bit more fun there. And then we go down to 40% health, which is the main event, which is where it starts to get really quite fun and interactive by the look of it. So all of the champion's medium attacks are unblockable, and he becomes very aggressive. The champion deals 10% of his attack as direct damage to the attacker every time they stagger or nullify a buff on him. And considering that this dude is most likely going to be the final boss and have 100,000, because it said in the early breakdown that the final boss is going to have 100,000 power index, that's still going to be quite a big chunk of damage, man, every time you nullify as well. And also, whenever a damage over time or stun debuff is placed on the champion, he will also have a 100% chance to shrug it off instantly as well. So yeah, that phase seems a bit terrifying, man. You've got to intercept him perfectly, and whenever you nullify, you're going to take, I assume, a fair burst of damage there. So yeah, I'm not really too sure how you're going to get around that one, aside from just take a load of damage to the face. But then we have the final 10%. So the final 10% is probably the phase I'm most scared about, and this one has actually been nerfed since the Otrix data mine on this one. So the champion gains 5 indestructible charges, and avoiding a special attack with a dexterity mastery is going to remove 1 charge, and there's going to be a cooldown of 1 second there, and grants the attacker prowess. When all the charges have been removed, the champion is only able to be damaged from special attacks. And there's also an additional passive as well, which means during the last phase, he is not going to regenerate while indestructible is active. But that last phase, man, it seems pretty scary. Like, you know, baiting out like 5 special attacks there is going to take a fair amount of time, and then you have to kill him only using special attacks. So I assume, like, once the indestructible ends, if you have got him down from like 100%, let's say you've had like a crazy run, you've got him down from 100% to that final 10%. He's probably going to have a fair bit of regeneration. So I assume once you get to 10%, you just gonna want to quit out, because of the fact that the champion's regeneration is based on damage that he's taken throughout the entire fight. So my assumption would be you get to 10%, and then you want to quit out and deal with that phase individually on its own. But that one might be a bit of a pain in the ass. I see ways that you can potentially get around this fight with maybe Symbiote Supreme and also Captain America Infinity War, but I don't know, it just seems like an incredibly niche matchup, man. Very niche there, and if you don't have a really good start to this champion matchup, you're just going to be permanently unstoppable, because if he's activating it, you know, every 7 and a bit seconds, and unstoppable lasts for 8 seconds, it's just going to be back to back. It's going to be all the time. So you need a really good start to this fight. And I guess one disclaimer as well is we don't know if there are going to be any additional nodes that might make this fight harder. There might be Bane chucked in as well, but there also might be something that somehow benefits us as well. Hopefully something like, you know, life transfer would maybe not be too bad. Actually, life transfer would suck for indestructible charges, so maybe not life transfer there. But yeah, I'm terrified, man. I'm really terrified of this champion boss. He seems like he's going to be really annoying, and not only the fact that you're going to have to fight, you know, if he's the final boss of Act 6.2, it's not like you have to deal with this dude once. There are going to be like anywhere between, I imagine, like 8 to 10 paths in every single chapter, like there were in 6.1, and they've mentioned on the announcement of 6.2. So you've not only going to beat this guy once, but I'm going to assume you got to beat him 10 times as well, with like stuff like the class gates and also the 6-star rarity gates as well. So 6.2, man, is looking like a goddamn clown fiesta. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about the Power Stone champion and also the buff to the rewards. What do you think are going to be some of the solutions to this character? How are we going to deal with him? What is the answer, lads? Let me know in the comment section below. But aside from that, thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.